Can energy be created? The law of energy conservation claims that energy can only be converted and formed, not created. Matter and energy can be converted to one another, though. So, my question, if that is true, what happens when something uses a lot of energy and needs it? Think of it as like an electric car. You're driving and driving and driving and driving, driving and driving, speeding, heat, all that stuff, and it's draining the battery. Your mileage is running low. What do you need to do? You need to plug it in, or you need to charge somewhere. But what if there's a limited amount of energy? What if your energy, like humans, as far as I know, we're not powered by electricity. So that doesn't work for us. We can't just plug into an outlet. So we need a different type of energy. So what happens when something needs that, but it can't just plug into an outlet? It needs to take. It needs to steal. It needs to, what I will call it this term, entropy. It needs disorder. It needs chaos. It needs to fabricate situations that cause entropy, which is essentially the drain and transfer of energy. Fear. Fear causes that. Fear creates a situation where all of a sudden energy can start being harvested. So we're going to stop there before we go deeper in that, but that's where it begins. So there's energy. So if we can all agree that energy exists, if energy cannot be created from thin air, as far as I know, and you know, that means that if we're all playing with the same amount of energy in this game of life, in this arena, in this world, if something wants more of it than it should have, how would it do so? It'd have to take it. Do we really want to give up our energy? Like, think about it. I believe in meters. Think of it like there's an energy meter. If you've ever played video games, think of it as a health meter. A 0 to 100. We each think of it as in percentages if it's easier for you to understand, but I'm just going to use flat numbers. Every action that you do consumes some of it. It might be 0.1 of 100. So, you know, like every time you walk, it might be 0.00001. So it's not a lot, but you can say that food and water and supplements and things of that nature restore some energy. Maybe having a coffee gives you +5, right? And so forth. Like, think about it just like that everything that we do it's our fuel, it's our life force, it's our energy. If it gets low enough, we need to sleep, because sleeping refuels or recharges the energy. But you can never get past 100. 100 is the cap. So if you're at 100 and you sleep, well, first of all, your body's going to fight you. It's not going to try to sleep. But let's say you've somehow managed to. You maybe take sleeping pills or things of that nature. It's not going to fill up past 100. We can't. Like, that excess energy is just... If there is like a temporary surplus, it's going to dissipate and vanish very quickly. So essentially, 100 is the max. I would argue that doing things we love, doing things that we believe in, helps us regain our energy, helps us recover it. So if we think about it like that, do we think that movies, games, stories, music, can they create energy? If doing things we love and enjoy refuels us? Could this video, could this audio conversation, could this stream give you energy? Don't we talk about how energy is contagious? The energy of the room? Life revolves around energy. The more you look into it, the more you think about it, the more you process it, the more it starts making sense. But if it's so critical to our life, if it's so critical to who we are, if it's so critical to everything that we do, yet we can't create it, that makes it the most valuable resource in the world. So everyone tends to think that it's time, that it's money, that it's all these things, but energy is actually the most valuable resource. And it's not oil energy, it's not fossil fuels, it's life energy. Life energy. Because the only way to get more of it is through repairing and healing. Because we can't create it. We can give some to other people, but we can't create it as far as we know. So, think about it like this. Money is energy. Money holds energy. You're like, how's that possible? It's just a piece of paper, or it's just digital. And especially now with credit cards, like literally, whoever has access to the banks, if they wanted to, they could type in an extra zero on your bank account and boom. I mean, obviously, if they get caught, there'd be issues, right? But technically. So how is it possible that some digital number and some paper has energy, holds people's energy? Well, we decided as collectively as society, or did we? Or is there specific people that chose that? Think about it like this. Why do companies charge so much for products? Why do they make things more expensive? Why do they want more money? Why is it always the race to who can make the most money, the most profits, the shareholders? Think about that. They want your energy. They want money. They want your energy. It's not a conspiracy. Literally, if money holds energy, think about it like this. Energy is time, money, emotion. Like, it's essentially just absorbing all that work you put in. Everything that you did. So if you worked for 8 hours at your job and you got paid $8, so $1 per hour, now you have 8 energy, right? Like that, you gave up 8 hours. You gave up energy literally working there. And in exchange for that, they gave you money to represent that transfer of energy that you gave them. They're giving you back. But my question to you is, life energy, is it really worth the same as $8? Especially if you can just continue raising the price of things? Is it really the same? If I gave you 8% of my life of today, you really think that's $8 worthy? 2 packs of gum? So, think about the blood. Think about the sweat. Think about the tears. Think about why they would want you to go back to the office. Think about why they create negative environments at work. Why do you think certain people get promoted? Climb the ladder. Every company starts off as a good company. Even the ones that might be working with the dark factions. They had good intentions. But all it takes is for the dark one. Or just think about it as, like, for example, if I decided to start a company and, you know, I wanted to start a nonprofit and I realized all the loopholes and the exploits that you can use donating and not having to pay taxes, and, you know, like, all of a sudden it becomes dark. But what if now these dark people, or this dark one, or myself, we target specific people at the top of the company that are leaders? You don't even have to think about it in the spiritual level or some entity. That is where we're heading. But think about it from just people around you. If you target specific people at the top and you ruin them completely, you make them mad, you cause issues in their life, you cause them to doubt themselves, you cause them to forget who they are, you make them fear, you make them worry that if they don't do this, they're going to lose their job, and if that happens, they're going to lose their wife and they're going to lose their kid, and It's just a chain reaction of things. So what are they going to do? They're going to listen to you out of fear. So now they're going to become exploiters. Imagine if you have a few exploiters at the top of the pyramid. You create slavery. Think Prince of Egypt, right? Like they just had slavers everywhere and slaves just nonstop. Guys, I'm just going to say it bluntly. If you're working today in a company that doesn't treat you like a god, you're a slave, period. Work in companies in the current environment is just an illusion. It was just a way for them to get around the word and the negative connotation of slavery. You're still a slave. If you're part of the system and if you're trading your life energy for a mediocre, meager amount of money, you are a slave. You're not free. You don't have choice. You don't have control. It's up to them. And if they've ever threatened you, if they've ever made you work in a negative work environment, if they haven't given you a break, you are a slave. Just because it's better than it was back then doesn't change the fact that you're still a slave. Guess what? Even in the Prince of Egypt, even in the Holocaust, in all those dark, horrible situations, they still fed them. They still gave them water. They kept them alive for labor. Think about this. We put price on products. Why do we put a price on people? That's what wages are. Why would we put a price on people? Because we are the product. We are their product. They're literally using us for energy. Think about it. If money is energy, they're using us for energy. So every single company that's out there, and there's a few that I'm sure are fighting against it, but if they are, they're not going to be doing that well. They're going to be suppressed. They're going to be attacked. They're going to be berated. They're going to be insulted. They're going to be... It's just anything possible to make sure that that doesn't happen. I will call these now companies, these work environments, human ranches. So think of it like the dark one. If there's like, just think of it like the president, the bad president in the country. If you don't want to think about it as an entity up above that has this power that can literally put things in place. If it installs a drain entity, is what I'm going to call it. So think of it as like a flower, a Venus flytrap that is installed underground every single company, the headquarters. Or if it's a virtual company, online. That drain entity is only created and propagated if there's fear present. So if you ever heard the phrase, "We will fire you if X happens," or if you don't do this, what does that create in you? Fear. Think about it. Who would you promote? Or who do they usually promote? A light or a dark worker? If you know that there's someone that's going to help the people around them, that's going to encourage them, that's going to train them, that's going to make them believe, it's going to make them happy, it's going to make them smile, it's going to make them laugh. Or you have someone else that's literally going to whip people, that's going to create fear, that's going to propagate the drainage of their energy, make it worse, make them... Because think of, your energy is drained the moment you start feeling anxiety, fear, insecurity, worry, pain, suffering, all of those things, negative emotions. Those are what drain your energy. Those are what make you feel less. Simple. We're going to get into the deeper specifics of how that works down the road, but just right now I want you to think about it like fear drains your energy.